the sun is shining, but the snowstorm of the year is nowhere near done. We take the streets to see which parts are still heavily iced, and how dangers off the road made a rough situation worse.
School may be back in session tomorrow, but as you can see right here, there is still a thick layer of ice on many different sidewalks on the campus of MTSU. Will they still be here tomorrow? We'll find out and keep you updated. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Jackson Jones.
And I'm Quametra Wilborn. Welcome to MT10 News at 6:30.
Nearly 35,000 people throughout Tennessee were without power earlier this afternoon, down from a whopping 59,000 last night. The highest number of outages were reported in Monroe, Warren, Knox, and Bedford. Although Murfreesboro did not make it in the top list, we are experiencing several power outages here and there throughout the county.
MT10 News reporter Bethany Thompson and videographer Michael Ward drove around Murfreesboro to show you an update on what the roads look like around town.
The sun today and has started to thaw Murfreesboro. As you can see behind me in downtown Murfreesboro and on Main Street, the roads are pretty clear. They're just wet right now, but the sidewalks and the stairs all covered in ice. The drive back to the campus area is fairly clear. Traffic is continuing as usual here at East Main and Middle Tennessee Boulevard. The roads are a little wet, but other than that, everything's fine. But what about those back roads and those apartment complexes that everyone lives in? In the parking lot behind campus crossings, you can see where it's still white and icy where cars have been parked over the weekend, but just a few steps over and it's completely clear due to all the activity of the cars driving on it today. However, parts of MTSU are still under the weather. Here on Alumni Drive and many other roads on campus, you can see that there is ice still all over the road and it's just going to refreeze overnight. For the most part, things are pretty clear on campus, but there are still some parts that are pretty icy. So if you do come to campus tomorrow, please take the necessary precautions. For MT10 News, I'm Bethany Thompson.
As of right now, school is back in session tomorrow, but follow MT10 News on Facebook and Twitter for the latest wicked weather alerts.
With outdoor temperatures continuing to drop, your water pipes might be in danger this winter. Technician Jeremy Eason from Roscoe Brown Heating and Cooling has advised the public to consider steps to prevent frozen pipes in your housing. Eason also advises that during these conditions, heating and cooling companies are open 24 hours to help. If you do experience problems, do not shut off your water outside, but instead call a plumber immediately. For more tips on how to protect your pipes at home, you can visit our website at mt10news.com. Temperatures have climbed down close to the negatives over the past few days. So how can we protect our vehicles from the harsh weather? Experts say before hitting the roads to make sure your windshield wipers are free of any tears and debris so you have clear visibility. You also want to make sure you have good windshield wiper solvent that is rated for 20 degrees below zero so that it can easily clean any debris such as mud or snow on your windshield. Experts also say to check your brakes for wear and fluid levels. Mobile One Lube Express manager Joe Pickles says you want to check to make sure you have adequate coolant protection levels. Pickles says too low of levels can cause your engine to freeze.
We're getting into the negative temperatures that your engine can freeze on the inside, and plus the coolant is not protecting your engine the way it was designed.
When driving on icy roads, experts say to always take precaution.
And you know, Quametra, I know that's the exact reason why I've been staying off the roads, and when I got out and worked today, I fell down on my pelvic bone. I think I need to go see a doctor about it. It's really bad.
You definitely need to get that checked out.
That's silly me.
MT10 forecaster Erin Hanlon joins us now with our first look at the weather out in this freezing cold.
I'm outside on campus at Middle Tennessee State University, and as you can tell, it's very cold outside because you can see my breath, and that coldness, the temperatures are only going to drop. Now, we did see some snow showers early this morning, and they kind of tapered off, and we saw a few spotty showers in the afternoon, but so far they've pushed east into the Knoxville area and onto the Cumberland Plateau. So snow, at least for tonight and tomorrow, is no longer a main concern. But what we are talking about, what the biggest weather story is right now, is going to be wind chills and gusty winds. Now, I don't know if you can hear, but we do have some ice that's falling trees. And so going into tomorrow, we are going to see some gusty winds because we do have an Arctic blast pushing through the mid-state. And the primary concern with that is that we already have residents without electric or without any power. And so with these wind gusts, the big concern is that it's going to cause those tree limbs to snap onto they're already weighed down anyway, and they're already on top of these power lines. So with these wind gusts moving through, we're going to be seeing some power lines go down tomorrow, and some more residents will be without power. And we are going to be seeing some negative wind chills. So although it may actually be 11 degrees tomorrow as your actual temperature, it's going to feel more like 0. So that's our biggest, it's going to be dangerously cold tomorrow. You stay tuned for your extended forecast after the break.
Still ahead on MT10 News, we have some tips to help you beat the weather.
Days off for weather are rare for MTSU students. Find out how they're spending their snow days. That's coming up next on MT10 News. MTSU students are not the only people taking advantage of the rare snow days. The hill close to Greek Road was a very popular place to be on this icy morning. College students, high school kids, and parents with small children all gathered around the hill to have sledding fun. Most of the people that were out for this fun-filled morning were there for hours and had no plans to leave anytime soon. The decision to come to this closed campus was the result of a direct chain reaction.
Neighbors brought my 2 older boys and a couple other friends, and my little girls like, can we go too? So we had to come.
This winter playland shouldn't last for long, but to find out how long it will last, stick around for Erin Hanlon's forecast in just a moment.
Businesses across Middle Tennessee close early due to weather, but some refuse to let a little ice ruin their plans. Snow and ice may have shut down everything else, but Bourbon Street Blues and Boogie Bar still kicked off their annual Mardi Gras party Tuesday. It's marked the bar's 20th anniversary. Event organizers said they never considered canceling because of weather. The Grand Ole Opry also has the first of a series of Tuesday night concerts. Vice President and General Manager Pete Fisher says the word cancel isn't part of their vocabulary at the Opry. The Predators also know how to handle a little bit of ice and still played against the San Jose Sharks Tuesday night. Fans who couldn't go to the game because of the weather can exchange their tickets for one of the upcoming 4 games.
Many people have been taking extra precautions to stay warm in this weather, but what about our furry friends? According to the American Veterinary Association, just like people, animals' cold tolerance vary from pet to pet based on their coat, which means they can be just as badly affected by the cold weather as we can.
Animal cruelty, honestly, simply because if you not sleep outside, then your dog should not sleep outside because they feel just the way we feel.
Coming up next at MT10 News, the women's basketball team faces 2 important games this weekend.
All that and more coming up next on MT10 News.
Well, it seems that the high-priced renovations weren't enough to bring people to the Murphy Center. Brooke Grimsley hits the court to see why students aren't showing up at Middle Tennessee State University basketball games.
Attending the university was almost 23,000 this past fall, which makes it one of the highest student enrollments in the state. But if you came to an MTSU basketball game, you wouldn't believe it because the students barely fill up the first 3 rows of the student section. So why is it that a D1 athletic school can't get students to rally behind its basketball programs? With the MTSU basketball season in full effect, the stands have been filling up with Blue Raider fans and proud alumni. But the student section has remained pretty much empty at games, leaving many wondering where are the students and why aren't they here?
Honestly, because we're not an SEC school, I don't think people find sports near as relevant.
The athletic department was hopeful that the new $12 million renovations to the Murphy Center would draw in more of a student crowd. But turnout is still low compared to other Division I colleges.
You see someone like Duke and the whole lower level is nothing but students jumping up and down for 2 hours. That's the kind of thing you'd love to see here.
Middle Tennessee basketball players see student fans as an important part of the game and would like to see more participation.
We had a pretty good crowd tonight, but if you get more students here, the place will be louder, and we'll just have more enthusiasm as an overall team.
There's only a handful of home games left as the Blue Raiders wish for a finally full student section to help them through the rest of the season. Reporting for MTSU's News 3, I'm Brooke Grimsley.
Some of the last home games will be themed to spark students' interest. There will be a Play for K game this Valentine's Day and a Mardi Gras game Thursday, February 19th.
All right, guys, we're ending the night with a little bit of science, a little bit of cool science. Jackson's going to throw the cup of boiling hot water into the air. And what you're about to see is that it actually is going to evaporate in the cold air with the lack of moisture in the air. You're going to see a big, huge puff of water vapor. Jackson.
Don't try this at home, kids. And here we go. Science is really cool, isn't it? Thank you for joining us for MT10 News. Have a true blue night and stay safe, Murfreesboro.
Good night.